Arrival at the Peace Summit. Stars above shimmered like diamonds in the darkness of space. Across a wide, silent galaxy, dozens of ships moved slowly toward one place, the Peace Summit. It was held once every 100 years, a time when alien races came together to talk, share, and avoid war. This year, the summit was held on a large space station orbiting a quiet blue planet. The station floated peacefully, surrounded by lights and guarded by drones. Inside, the grand hall was full of colors, sounds, and movement. Ambassadors from many alien species had already arrived. Their clothes were soft, full of colors. Some brought gifts, others brought songs. Everyone smiled, everyone spoke softly. They were all waiting for one thing, the arrival of the humans. The humans were the youngest species in the Galactic Council. Only 50 years ago, they were still new to space, but in just a short time, they had built fast ships, learned many languages, and surprised the older races with their speed. Still, no one fully trusted them. The room went quiet when a deep sound echoed through space. Boom, boom, boom. It was the sound of something heavy approaching. On the large screen, a dark ship appeared. It was shaped like a blade, black and sharp, with glowing red lights across its sides. It moved slowly, as if it didn't care who watched. There were no decorations, no flags, just metal. The ship stopped near the station. Silence. Then the docking door opened. A cloud of cold mist rolled out, a long pause, and then footsteps. Heavy, loud, and slow. Clank, clank, clank. 7 tall figures walked in, each one over 7 feet tall, covered head to toe in black power armor. Their suits were made of thick plates, shining with dark light. Helmets covered their faces. On their backs were weapons, not small ones, weapons made for war. Gasps filled the room. What is this? Whispered the ambassador from the Zyrene race. Why are they dressed for battle? Asked another. This is a peace summit. The human soldiers didn't speak. They stopped in the center of the hall and stood like statues. Then one of them stepped forward. His armor was heavier, his shoulders were wider. He was the leader. He removed his helmet. A human face stared back at the crowd, sharp eyes, a strong jaw, calm expression. My name is Commander Reeve, he said. His voice was deep and clear. We come in peace, but we come prepared. No one spoke. The silence felt heavy. The leader of the Telari race stepped forward. Her body was made of light and glass. She looked small beside the armored humans. Commander Reeve, she said. This is a gathering for peace. Why have you come dressed for war? Reeve looked around the hall. His eyes met every ambassador one by one. Because peace, he said slowly, is not given, it is protected. Whispers spread across the room. Some called it wise. Others called it a threat. The Varnak ambassador, covered in green feathers, raised a long finger. Are you expecting an attack, human? Reeve didn't answer at first. Then he smiled, expecting no. Prepared, always. He turned and walked back to his team. They stood still, silent and powerful. The rest of the summit tried to continue. Talks began, speeches were made, but no one could focus. All eyes returned again and again to the human soldiers, standing like statues of war in the middle of a peaceful hall. Later that evening, in a quiet chamber, 3 ambassadors met secretly. This is not peace, one said. They are planning something, said another. But what if they know something we don't? Asked the third. Outside, the stars watched in silence. The humans had come not with words, but with armor, and though they said nothing more, their message was clear. They would not fight first. But if war came, they would not fall. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of space, something dark was watching. Waiting. Planning. The summit had just begun, but peace was already cracking. Asterisk. The whispered Firth summit chamber was quiet, but not peaceful. Whispers floated through the air like smoke. The humans were still standing in the center of the hall, tall, silent, unmoving. Their black armor reflected the lights above. Red sensors blinked softly on their helmets, watching everything, listening, recording. No one knew what they were thinking, and that made them dangerous. In a side chamber of the summit, a small secret meeting had started. The door was locked. The room was shielded. Only 6 ambassadors sat at the round table. The oldest, the wisest, and the most nervous, the ambassador from the Telari race. A glowing figure of crystal and light broke the silence. They do not blink, she whispered. They do not move. That is not peace. That is a threat. The feathered Varnak ambassador hissed. They came here as if they expected an ambush. Who wears armor to a peace summit? The Zyrene delegate leaned forward. His skin was pale and soft, like jelly, and his voice shook. Maybe they know something. Maybe they saw danger we didn't. The others went quiet. A new thought entered the room. What if the humans had a reason to wear armor? Back in the main chamber, the humans still stood in formation. They did not speak. They did not sit. Other ambassadors gave speeches about trade, unity, and galactic peace. But the humans never reacted. It felt like they were made of stone. A young alien child approached them, curious. She offered a flower. One of the human soldiers bent down, took the flower gently and gave a soft nod but said nothing. It was the only movement they made in hours. That night, in the shadows of the station, a small scout ship drifted silently toward the human warship. It was not allowed, but the pilot didn't care. He was hired by someone powerful, someone who wanted answers. He floated toward the docking hatch, disabled the station's sensors, and entered the ship through a small maintenance tunnel. What he saw inside changed everything. The next morning, a strange energy filled the station. Word spread quickly. A spy had gone missing. His ship was found, empty, no signal, no damage, just gone. The Varnik accused the humans immediately. Your ship swallowed him, they said. Commander Reeve replied calmly, your spy entered restricted space. We did not harm him. But perhaps he saw something he was not meant to see. That only made things worse. What did the humans hide on their ship? Why were they so calm about a missing intruder? Behind closed doors, the Zyrene ambassador called an emergency meeting. He played a small holo recording. It showed something dark, a signal from deep space. Strange shapes moving through black clouds. A fleet of unknown ships, silent, massive, alive. The signal was old, weeks old, but the direction? The same direction the humans came from. This was found by one of our outer probes, he whispered. A fleet not ours, not human, not known. Heading toward the core systems. The room went cold. You think the humans saw this too? Asked the Tel-Ari. The Zyrene nodded. I think they didn't come dressed for war. I think they came dressed for survival. Later that evening, something strange happened. In the center of the summit hall, the humans stepped forward. All at once, Commander Reeve walked to the stage. Everyone watched. He placed a black box on the table. It was smooth, no buttons, no lights. Then it came to life. The box opened with a soft click. A glowing blue light rose from inside, forming an image. It showed star maps, alien ships, burning planets, a timeline. The crowd gasped. This, Reeve said quietly, is what we found. The image changed. Now it showed a fleet of living ships, dark, sharp, moving like sharks through space. No name, no language, no contact, just destruction. They do not stop, they do not speak, they consume. He paused. We tried to warn you before the summit. You didn't listen, so we came here, in armor. Not to fight you. He looked across the room, but to protect you. Silence fell, deep, heavy. Reeve's voice turned sharp. You talk of peace, but peace only works when someone is strong enough to guard it. He stepped back. The box closed. The message was clear. War was coming, and the humans were ready. Back in the private chamber, the Tel-Ari ambassador stood up, glowing brightly. We made a mistake, she said. What mistake? Asked the others. We thought the humans were afraid of us. She looked toward the main hall. But maybe we should be afraid of what's coming next. The hidden message. Summit was no longer about peace. Not really. After the humans revealed the warning, the hologram of the Dark Fleet, everything changed. The room that once echoed with soft music and hopeful speeches now hummed with fear, doubt, and questions no one wanted to ask out loud. What were those ships? Where were they now? And most of all, why did only the humans know? In the hours after the presentation, the black cube the humans left behind was placed in a secure chamber for study. Scientists from 6 different races worked together to open it, scan it, understand it, but the cube refused to speak again. It just sat there, cold, silent, like it was waiting. In a dark hallway, a low-ranking assistant from the Tel-Ari delegation walked alone. She had been ordered to spy, politely, of course, just observe, just listen, no harm. She passed near the humans' guarded zone. Her footsteps slowed. She looked to the side. The armored human guards didn't move, but their helmets turned slightly. Following her, she shivered and kept walking. Just before she turned the corner, she heard something. A whisper, but no one else was there. Back in the council chamber, tension grew with every hour. 2 alien leaders demanded action. We must investigate the humans' claims. If this threat is real, we should prepare. If it's false, they must be punished. Others disagreed. We are not their soldiers. They came in armor to scare us. This is a power move. Commander Reeve watched quietly. He didn't argue. He didn't smile. He just waited. That night, without permission, a young scientist named Kale, half Zyrene, half human, entered the sealed lab where the black cube was stored. He believed the box held more than just warnings. He believed it was alive. He touched it. Nothing happened. He whispered to it. Still nothing. Then he closed his eyes and asked it the only question that mattered. What are they? The cube warmed in his hand, a soft vibration, a low sound. Then the cube glowed again. But this time no hologram. Just a voice. It was not human. Not alien. Something in between, a voice that echoed inside Kel's mind. They are not conquerors, they are not hunters, they are not alive, they are hunger. Kale fell backward, shaking. He looked around the lab. The other scientists were frozen in place, staring blankly into space. The cube had spoken to them and left a mark. The next morning, something terrifying happened. A cargo ship arrived at the summit, requesting emergency docking. They brought a survivor. A single alien man, skin burned, eyes wide with horror. He spoke of his planet. Once rich, full of life, now gone. Not destroyed, erased. Every city, every signal, every life gone without a sound. He kept repeating one word in his language, the swarm. Reeves stepped forward in the summit hall. The swarm, he said, confirming the name. We have seen them before. Only shadows, only aftermath, but always the same. He looked across the room. They do not take prisoners. They do not send messages. They do not stop. The Zyrene ambassador shook with fear. Why did you not tell us earlier? Reeves' voice was sharp. Because when we tried, no one listened. Then he revealed something new. The humans had intercepted a transmission. A repeating signal coming from deep space, not in any known language, not coded, not even logical. It was just one word, repeated over and over again. In different tones, in different rhythms, a name, when translated through dozens of alien systems. One meaning appeared again and again. We are coming. That night, an emergency council meeting was called. Arguments broke out. Fear filled the room like poison. Some wanted to join the humans and prepare. Others wanted to cut contact and hide. And some wanted to blame the humans. This threat followed them here, said one ambassador. It was not our problem before. Reeves stood again, this time without his helmet. He looked tired, but his eyes burned with quiet fire. No, he said. This was always coming. We just saw it first. We prepared first. And now, we're giving you a chance. He paused. But if you choose to run, you'll be running alone later. In the shadows of the station, two cloaked figures met in secret. Do you think the humans brought the swarm here? No, the other replied. I think they're the only ones who can stop it. Meanwhile, deep in space, near the edge of known stars, a single probe floated silently. Then its lights blinked. Once. Twice. Then nothing. From the darkness behind it, thousands of shapes moved, fast, large and hungry. The swarm had arrived, and the galaxy was not ready. The betrayal begins. Summit was broken. What was once a meeting of peace had turned into a chamber of whispers, fear, and accusations. The warning from the humans, the survivor from the lost planet, the strange message from the black cube. All of it now filled the space station with a quiet kind of panic, but even in fear. Not everyone wanted to unite. Some wanted control, some wanted answers, and some wanted someone to blame. In the command tower of the summit station, the Telari ambassador stood looking at the stars. Her crystal body pulsed softly. She didn't blink, she didn't move. She just stared into the dark sky. She spoke without turning. They are coming. That much is now clear, the Zyrene ambassador, standing behind her, replied. Then why does the council still fight among itself? She finally turned. Because fear makes people blind. In the main chamber, new security measures had been added. Guards from many alien races now stood near the entrances. Surveillance drones floated above the delegates. Some races brought warships to patrol outside, and still, the humans stood in the center, calm and silent in their power armor. They had not changed, but the galaxy around them had. Then it happened. An ambassador was found dead. His body was discovered in his quarters. No sign of struggle, no damage to the room, but his eyes were wide open, his face frozen in terror. His heart had stopped. The official report said natural causes, but no one believed it. Whispers filled the halls. They killed him, maybe? He knew something. Maybe the swarm is already here. Fingers pointed at the humans. Commander Reeve requested an open investigation. He gave full access to their logs, crew files, and movements, but it didn't matter. Fear had already chosen its target. That night, a group of delegates met in secret, 12 species. One plan: if we remove the humans from the summit, maybe the swarm will ignore us, said one. They are a threat either way, said another. A third leaned in. We need to act quietly. If they resist, we use force, and just like that, the betrayal began. Meanwhile, inside the human command ship, Reeve watched satellite scans from deep space. His second-in-command, Captain Voss, entered the chamber. They're surrounding us, she said. I know. Reeve turned the screen toward her. It showed a star system at the edge of the galaxy. 3 planets had gone dark in just 12 hours. No signals, no survivors. We're running out of time, he said. The plan was simple. During the next council session, a small strike team would disable the humans' weapons, place energy dampeners inside their suits, and force them into custody. The Telari ambassador objected. They warned us, they shared everything. They did not threaten, but she was ignored. By morning, the operation was ready. The next session began. Commander Reeves stood to speak. The Swarm has reached the outer systems. If we do not unite now, we will all fall one by one. At that moment, the strike team moved. 6 elite agents stepped from the shadows. Quiet, fast, armed with stun rifles and energy traps, they moved toward the humans, then stopped. Their weapons dropped from their hands. Their eyes went blank. They collapsed. Gasps filled the room. What just happened? Who attacked them? Reeve didn't move. He simply raised one hand. A small device blinked in his palm. Neural countermeasures. He said, "We expected betrayal." The silence that followed was heavier than gravity. Then a scream from the upper balcony. Another ambassador collapsed. Blood on the floor, a knife in his back. The assassin vanished into the crowd. Panic broke out. Reeve shouted, "Lock the chamber." Human guards activated energy fields around the exits. From every direction, chaos erupted. Some delegates tried to flee, others drew weapons. Some froze, not knowing who to trust. Then, from the ceiling above, a hologram flickered to life. It was the face of the assassin, but the face kept changing. Cyrene, Varnek, human, Tellarith a shapeshifter. The entire station fell silent again. Reeve stepped forward. "This is what we've been trying to warn you about. The swarm doesn't just destroy, it infiltrates." He looked around the room. "They are already here." Back in the secret meeting room, one of the 12 leaders removed his face. Beneath the skin, metal wires, a mouth that didn't breathe, but smiled. Swarm. He turned to the others. And locked the door. At the same time, outside the station, hundreds of small black objects suddenly appeared around the station's edge. No sound. No warning, just darkness. And then, the lights began to flicker. All systems started to fail. And in the distance, a massive shadow moved between the stars. Not a ship, a creature. The swarm had arrived. Commander Reeves stared at the darkening sky. "Through the summit window, now," he said, "the real war begins." The first strike flights were dying. Across the Peace Summit station, emergency sirens screamed. Power flickered, walls shook. Outside, in the silence of space, black shapes circled like vultures. They were not ships. They were alive. Commander Reeves stood in the control hall, unmoving, his face hard as steel. "All units." He spoke into his comms. "Battle formation, full lockdown, prepare for breach." The human soldiers responded instantly. Across the summit station, heavy footsteps echoed as power-armored soldiers formed a living wall between civilians and shadows. Other alien guards hesitated. They were trained for peace. Humans were trained for survival. In the center of the summit chamber, a massive explosion shattered a wall. A black shape slithered inside. It had no eyes, no mouth, just smooth dark armor that shifted like liquid metal. It moved fast, almost a blur, and struck the floor with a hiss. Ambassadors screamed. Drones fired energy beams. They passed right through the creature. It didn't even slow down. Then the first human soldier stepped forward. He raised his weapon, not to shoot, but to absorb. The armor around him unfolded, forming a glowing energy field. The swarm creature struck. There was a blinding flash, and then silence. The human stood tall. The creature was ash. The room went still. Reeves' voice rang out. "Now you understand. This was never a war of armies. It's a war of biology, of intelligence, of infiltration. The swarm is not a species. It is a weapon that learns." While the summit locked itself down, chaos spread across the galaxy. In the Varnik sector, 3 peaceful colonies lost all contact in just 6 minutes. In the Zyrene border systems, emergency messages begged for help. "They are inside us. Ships are changing shape. We don't know who is real anymore." The swarm had no BATTLECRUISERS. No starfleets. It didn't need them. It was already everywhere. Inside the summit, Captain Voss turned to Reeve. "We can't hold the station. We need to choose." Reeve nodded. "Evacuate the civilians. Split the fleet. Begin Operation Bastion." Back in the alien command room, leaders argued. "We must retreat." "No, we stay and fight. We shouldn't have trusted the humans." Then, one of the Tellari guards collapsed. From his mouth came black mist. His skin cracked open. And something else stepped out, a swarm construct, built inside a living body. Before the others could move, it exploded. That was the final moment of peace. Reeve activated his full battle protocol. His voice, calm but powerful, echoed through every hall. "To all human units, defend, contain, save who you can, destroy what you must." And then the humans unleashed what no alien had ever seen. The armor suits unfolded into larger battle frames. Each soldier now stood 10 feet tall. Covered in adaptive armor, weapons were not just guns, but tools that rewrote matter, burned through flesh, and could reshape the battlefield. Aliens watched as the humans became something else. Not diplomats. Not warriors, but guardians of a dying galaxy. The Tellari ambassador, injured but alive, watched from a broken wall. A human soldier lifted her gently, shielding her body with his armor as plasma fire rained from the ceiling. You're not just here to protect humans? She asked weakly. No, the soldier said, we're here to protect everything worth saving. Meanwhile, deep inside the summit vaults, the swarm was already trying to infect the station's central AI as a shape crawled along the ceiling. Something between insect and machine, but before it could reach the core, it stopped. A single round of silent light pierced it. Kale, the half-Zyrene, half-human scientist, stood holding a pulse rifle. I was made to be two things, he said. But I choose to fight as one. As the battle raged, ships from distant systems sent their final messages. We cannot hold them, requesting assistance from the human defense fleet, and humanity answered. Not with words, but with war. High above the summit, 12 human warships decloaked. Silent. Deadly. Elegant machines of war with black holes and red lights. They launched drones, armor pods, medical shuttles, and orbital shields. The aliens watched in awe. The humans had not brought their full force to the summit. They had been hiding it. Waiting. Planning. Because they knew the first strike was only the beginning. Back on the summit floor, Reeve stood over a pile of broken swarm bodies. He looked around, allies injured, friends gone, but survivors safe, and that was enough. He turned to the remaining alien leaders, smoke rising behind him. If this galaxy wants peace, he said, then it must be earned. Because peace is not the natural state of the universe, it is built, it is defended, and now, he stepped forward, it will be led. Asterisk claiming the star's fires had not stopped burning, even after the summit station was secured. Its walls still glowed with heat. Smoke rose from shattered halls. Bodies, human and alien, were carefully removed. Hundreds were dead, thousands were injured, but the swarm had been pushed back, for now. And the ones who saved the summit were not the council, they were the humans. Across the galaxy, news spread like a storm. Human soldiers defended the summit. Earth's fleets respond faster than any known race. Is humanity the last hope against the swarm? Every planet, every station, every leader had seen it, while others panicked or argued. The humans had acted, cold, clear, and fast. They had planned for this. The rest of the galaxy had not. In orbit around the summit station, 12 human warships floated in silence. They didn't flash lights or play signals. They didn't need to. Their presence was the signal. In a secret meeting aboard one of the ships, Commander Reeve sat at a long table with his officers. Captain Voss placed a tablet in front of him. 6 systems have requested protection, she said. They're willing to surrender local control to human command in exchange for defense. Reeve looked at the map. Red lights blinked across it. Too many. Any council support? Voss shook her head. None. They're still voting on the shape of their next committee. Reeve didn't laugh. He simply stared at the screen. They want peace, he said, but they still don't understand what it costs. Meanwhile, on the Zyrene homeworld, political chaos exploded. The people demanded action. Their leaders had failed to protect them. Swarm activity was growing on their borders. Protests turned violent. In desperation, the Zyrene president called for help, not from the council but from Earth. A week later, human ships entered orbit. They deployed orbital shields, defense stations, and power-armored peacekeepers. The riot stopped. The crime vanished. So did Zyrene freedom on the Telari crystal world. An old philosopher asked a young student, do you see what is happening? The student nodded. They're protecting us, the old one replied. Yes, but for how long before protection becomes rule? Back on the summit station, a new meeting was held, not in the council chamber, but on the bridge of the human flagship. 13 ambassadors stood before Commander Reeve. We are willing to support your leadership, the Telari said softly. For now, Reeve didn't smile, he simply nodded. You've made the right choice. The Varnic ambassador hesitated. You are not elected. Reeve turned to him. I wasn't elected to lead, I was built to survive. Within 2 weeks, human command centers were established on 37 key planets. Galactic traffic control, defense strategy, and emergency relief all shifted to Earth-based systems. Alien officials began to answer to human officers. Some celebrated it. Others whispered in fear. In private, Captain Voss met with Reeve on the observation deck. Some of them are starting to push back, she said. They want their systems back under local control. Reeve didn't respond right away. He looked out the window, watching the stars, then let them push. He finally said, when the swarm returns, they'll crawl back, begging. In a dark system near the edge of the galactic map, a swarm scout hive awakened. It had not forgotten what happened at the summit. It had seen human weapons, human minds. It had learned, and now it would adapt, but humans had adapted too. On a dead planet once lost to the swarm, a human team activated a new kind of weapon, a hybrid of technology and living code, taken from the enemy itself, a swarm-based AI, tamed by human science. It pulsed, it thought, it obeyed. One officer whispered, are we becoming what we fight? The lead scientist replied, "No, we're becoming what they fear." At the next interstellar broadcast, Reeve appeared on every major world at once. His voice was calm. His message simple: this galaxy is broken, the old way is gone, the swarm is coming. And if we want to survive, truly survive, then we must stand as one. Under one command, one shield, one future. He looked straight into the camera. This is not an empire, this is humanity doing what you would not. This is what leadership looks like. You're welcome to join us, but we're moving forward. With or without you, and just like that, it became clear. The humans were no longer guests in the galaxy. They were its spine, its shield, and perhaps, soon its rulers. The new order of stars were silent again, but it was not peace. It was the calm before the final storm. The galaxy had changed. Systems that once flew their own banners now bore Earth's crest. A silver shield wrapped in flame, human fleets patrolled trade routes, built defenses, and hunted swarm nests without mercy. And still, the swarm returned. Again and again, smarter, stronger, closer, aboard the human flagship Resolute. Commander Reeve stood on the command deck, staring at a massive display. It showed a star map and a red wave spreading across it. The swarm was no longer attacking planets. It was devouring entire sectors. Planets fell without warning. Colonies vanished overnight. No survivors, no signals, just darkness. Captain Voss stepped beside him. "We estimate 12 hours before they reach the Telari homeworld," she said. Reeve didn't blink. "We make our stand there." A final transmission from the Galactic Council came through. The few alien leaders still outside human protection were desperate. "We beg for aid," said the Zyrene voice, shaking. "We don't care who leads. We just want to live." Reeve responded with a short message: "Then fight beside us, or die in silence." In the orbital space above Telari Prime, a coalition fleet assembled, hundreds of ships, human, Zyrene, Varnuk, Telari, and others, all flying together. But at the center of them all, Earth's battle command. Reeve stood before the full assembly in a secure hologram briefing. "Tonight," he said, "we do not fight to survive. We fight to choose who we become. This is not the end of the galaxy." He looked at the faces before him. "It is the end of weakness." Then the sky went black. The swarm arrived, but not in hundreds. In millions. Like a river of teeth and wings, they moved through space, not in lines or formations, but in chaos. Every one of them a weapon, every one of them alive. Alien captains froze human soldiers, locked armor. And Commander Reeve gave his final order: begin Operation Starwall. The stars lit up. Dozens of hidden satellites powered on, linking energy fields between them, creating a glowing shield that spread across half the sector. It was humanity's final invention, a barrier of light, designed not just to hold the swarm, but to trap them. And inside that cage of stars, the battle began. Swarm beasts ripped through holes, human mechs fired anti-void charges, disintegrating monsters mid-air. Alien ships panicked, firing wildly, breaking formation. The line began to fall, and then the swarm adapted. They split apart, smaller, faster. They slipped through weak points in the shield, entering Telari atmosphere. Thousands would die in minutes, but before they could fall, the ground erupted. From the surface, Earth's secret weapon rose, Project Dawn, a Titan-class defense frame. It was not piloted. It was alive, a swarm-based AI fused with human memory, built from both terror and hope. It moved like thunder, and it killed like fire. Meanwhile, inside the Resolute, Reeve faced his final choice. The swarm AI had hacked their defense net. There was one way to stop it: a virus built by Kale, the hybrid scientist. It would shut the swarm down, but it came at a cost. It would also wipe every swarm-based system the humans had developed, including Project Dawn, including parts of Earth's entire fleet tech. Boss stared at him. "If we launch it, we win, but we lose everything we built." Reeve was silent, then he spoke. "No empire survives forever." He pressed the command: launch the virus. Across the battlefield, swarm beasts began to collapse, ships lost control, the stars brightened. Then, quiet. In the silence, a Telari child stepped from a bunker and looked up. Above her, the sky was broken, but the Earth flag still flew. Weeks passed. Across the galaxy, humans helped rebuild. They stayed. But their tone changed. They no longer gave orders, they listened. The council returned, smaller, wiser, with Earth as its center but not its master. Some whispered that humanity had taken the galaxy. Others said they had saved it. In a quiet corner of the Resolute, Kale asked Reeve, "Do you regret giving it up?" Reeve didn't answer right away. He looked out at the stars, then said, "We wore power armor to a peace summit. Not because we wanted war, but because we knew peace would never come unless someone was strong enough to stand in the fire." He turned and walked out, still human.